It was one of those nights where the air felt heavy, thick with the kind of tension you can't quite name. I had told myself I wouldn't come here, not again. The dimly lit bar on the corner of 5th and Maple had been a place of both solace and destruction for me over the past year. But somehow, my feet had led me here, like they always did when my mind wandered back to him. I pulled my coat tighter around myself as I stepped outside, the crisp autumn wind biting at my skin. I should have left earlier. I should have known that staying too long meant risking running into him. But maybe a small part of me had wanted this, had been waiting for the moment he'd finally show up again. The door creaked open behind me, and I knew before I even turned around. His voice stopped me cold. "Emily." I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs, every cell in my body screaming at me to just keep walking. I didn't owe him anything. I had given him enough of my time, my heart, my love. And yet, there I was, standing still, waiting for the words I swore I didn't want to hear. I turned slowly, my breath visible in the night air. There he was, Nathan. He looked the same, and yet, somehow different. His dark hair was a little longer, his jawline a little rougher. But it was his eyes that got me the most. They held something that hadn't been there before. Regret. I should have walked away. I should have turned and never looked back. But then he said it. "I never stopped loving you." A single sentence, so simple, yet so destructive. It tore through every wall I had spent months building. I hated how easily he could still get to me. After everything, after the sleepless nights, the unanswered calls, the silence that had nearly broken me. How dare he say that now? I clenched my fists at my sides, trying to steady my breathing. "Then why did you leave?" His gaze dropped to the ground for a moment, as if the answer was written somewhere in the cracks of the pavement. When he looked back up at me, there was something raw in his expression. "Because I was scared," he admitted. "Of how much I needed you. Of how much I knew I didn't deserve you." I wanted to scream, to laugh, to cry. Scared? That's all he had? That's the reason he walked away without a word, leaving me to wonder what I had done wrong? My throat tightened, but I refused to let the tears come. "You broke me, Nathan." My voice came out quieter than I intended, but the weight of the words still hung between us like a storm cloud. He took a step closer, hesitated, then another. "And I've spent every single day regretting it. I should have walked away. But I didn't. Because despite everything, some part of me still wanted to hear him out." The silence stretched between us, heavy with everything we weren't saying. I hated him for leaving, but I hated myself more for still wanting to believe him. "Why now?" I asked finally. "Why after all this time?" Nathan exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "Because I couldn't stay away anymore. I thought I could forget you, that I could move on. But I was wrong. Every day, without you, felt like I was just going through the motions. And then tonight, I saw you walk in, and I knew I couldn't keep lying to myself." I crossed my arms, forcing myself to hold onto my anger. "Do you have any idea what you put me through?" My voice trembled despite my best efforts. "I spent months thinking I wasn't enough, that I did something to push you away." His face twisted in pain, and for the first time, I saw real guilt there. "You were never the problem, Emily." I was. I was a coward." I scoffed. "Yeah, you were." He flinched at my words but didn't argue. We stood there for a moment, the night wrapping around us, filled with all the things we wished we could take back. I should have left. I should have let him suffer in his regret. But my heart was a traitor, still clinging to the past, still wanting to believe that maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. "Do you really think saying you regret it is enough?" I asked, my voice quieter now. "No," he admitted. "But I had to try." Something in me cracked at that, because deep down, I had always wished he would. We ended up walking. I don't know why I let it happen, but something about the cold night air and the weight of everything unsaid made it easier to keep moving. I kept my arms crossed, a barrier between us, but I still listened. He told me about the nights he lay awake, fighting the urge to call me, about the times he saw something that reminded him of me and had to stop himself from reaching out. He talked about the mistakes he made, about how running had never actually freed him from anything. And then, finally, he asked the question I had been dreading. Is there any part of you that still wants to give me a chance? I stopped walking. My heart was screaming yes. My mind was screaming no. I don't know if I can trust you again, Nathan. My voice was barely a whisper, but he heard it. He nodded slowly, as if he expected that answer. I won't ask you to decide right now, he said. Just let me prove to you that I've changed. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to pretend that love was enough to fix everything. But love had never been the problem.
Trust was.
We stood there under the glow of the streetlights, two people caught between the past and the possibility of something new. Maybe I should have walked away, but I didn't. And that was the moment everything changed.